I think I'm actually really grateful that people don't know that this stuff doesn't report to your bureau, because that means they don't know about these types of loans, which means that they're not going to take them out, and I didn't send them there. That's about right says, what bank on this planet allows you to keep getting loans? Well, this is in reference to the video that everybody loves to hate me on, where I confessed I had 44 loans. I'm actually down to 38. I have 8 personal loans. There's only 1 payday loan left, which brings me to the topic of things that don't report to your bureau. Payday loans don't report to your bureau, and so they don't know your DTI. So of course banks are going to keep loaning it to you, especially if you have perfect payment history. I don't now, but I did then. And then not only that, Affirm and Klarna. I have 25 Affirm and Klarna loans. Sezzle, Afterpay, Uplift. There's all kinds of them. The buy now, pay later apps. They only report to like 50% of people's bureaus. For whatever reason, they don't report to mine. And then cash advance apps, there's 4 of those, and I do count them as loans because I have to pay them back legitimately. Those will also not report to your bureau. So, and then I have 1 auto loan, which obviously reports to my bureau. Debt to income, it doesn't look that big when half of the loans that you take out aren't even reporting to your credit bureau, which is dangerous. It's absolutely dangerous. In fact, the payday loan that I just paid off, I did a video on that. If you want to go look at it, that's about right. 435% interest. The one I'm paying off next month, I'm going to do a separate video on that because people have been asking me to. And it's crazy. So yeah, I'm down to 38 loans. I've paid off since that 621 video. I've paid off a lot. And I'm going to continue to pay off a lot. I'm not taking out loans. My goal at the end of this journey is to be at 0. 0. And then we can celebrate the fact that I paid off over 50. Yes, you heard that right. Over 50. Anyway, so that's my soapbox. Not all loans report to bureaus. And they should. Because then I wouldn't have gotten myself in this crazy pickle. Have a good day.
One of the worst things that you can do for yourself is get into the cycle of taking out payday advance loans. I'm talking Dave, Earnin, Bridget, whatever cute names they have for these platforms, they all suck. If you want to completely destroy your cash flow and your budgeting ability, those apps are the #1 way to do it, because when they advance you money, it is a loan, yes, but whatever amount you take out, it is coming out of your next paycheck before the paycheck even hits. And what that does is, if you are trying to budget for an $800 paycheck, let's say, but you borrowed $200 from it from a previous paycheck, now you're starting your budget at $600. And you can see how that compounds over time. It gets to the point where some people are not even able to see any of their paycheck because all of their current paycheck is going towards paying back payday loans that they took out weeks ago. I would rather you take out a credit card or a personal loan before you get stuck in the trap of payday advance loans, particularly because at least with a credit card, you can defer payments. If you're making just the minimum payment, you'll be fine, right? Not encouraging people to get into debt, but that is a better form of debt than these payday advance loans. And if you really calculate the interest that you're paying them in the form of tips and fees and whatever else they call it, you end up paying hundreds of percents more than you would with a credit card that is 20 to 30%. It seems cool to borrow from your paycheck, and it's not that big of a deal when you're doing it in the moment and you're strapped for cash, but let me tell you, it is going to compound and it is going to become a super duper big cash flow impediment for you moving forward.
Here's why you should never step foot in a payday loan store. Back in 2013, I was working at a restaurant and I served a woman who gave me her card and told me that if I was ever in need of a job, to give her a call. I ended up leaving the restaurant a few weeks after I got her card, called her, had an interview, and within a few weeks, I was employed at Cash Money Check Cashing Inc. as a customer service representative. So part of my roles and responsibilities were cashing checks. I did foreign exchange transactions. I issued payday loans, and I did a lot of Western Union transactions. Essentially, a payday loan is, say you're a few days away from your payday, you're a few $100s short to make a bill payment. You come in and see us, you show us how much your take-home pay is, what the frequency of that pay is, and Ontario legislation allows us, at least it did at the time, it could be different now, they allowed us to offer you 80% of your net pay up to a maximum of $1,500. On your next payday, you would come back and pay us the principal plus $21 per hundred. So if you borrowed the maximum $1,500, you would be paying back $1,815. Now, for most people who are in the situation of having to take the loan in the first place, that meant that they would have to reborrow. And that, my friends, is how the vicious cycle of payday loans begins. But that's not the only way it begins. The reason why these stores do Western Union is because they hope that after a certain amount of money that you send back home, you're going to need a loan too. And as we know, most people who utilize Western Union are members of the immigrant community, and that is why you mostly find these stores in areas where there is a lot of government housing, a very low household income, and a very high immigrant population. The few years that I worked there, I saw lives turned upside down. It broke my heart every single day to see young moms, people with disabilities coming in, borrowing off of their Canada Child Tax, off of their ODSP, even off of their welfare checks. But Ontario legislation allows all of this. There are such predatory tactics in place to urge the people who are not payday loan customers to become payday loan customers. If somebody that just sent Western Union came in, we would have to ask them, how about we send this money for you today and you can come back in 2 weeks and pay it then. The payday loan cycle is so difficult to get out of. And if you are ever in the unfortunate situation of finding yourself in it, here's what you do. Let your loan bounce. You let the payment bounce. Take the $40 NSF fee, contact the collections department for the payday loan store that you borrowed the money from, and make a payment plan that works for you. Otherwise, getting out can be very, very difficult.
Interest rates on a payday loan is crazy as hell. It's like 300%, 600%, and you're like, oh, I'm just gonna borrow a few $100s. Babe, no, you're already struggling. How are you gonna pay that back? Now you're in a situation where when payday come, you don't even have enough money to pay the bills that you have coming now. When payday come, your paycheck is already gone. You can't even cover the bills that you have now because you already got your check snatched from the payday loan people. It makes the situation worse because if you miss one payment, that payment ends up getting sent to collections. Now you're not only, you ain't got no money, you're struggling, now your credit is being affected and tainted. Your credit score ends up dropping, and now you owe more money, and your credit is bad. The point of this video is that if you're already struggling, if you're already in debt, taking out a payday loan is going to make your situation worse.
Why is it so hard to get out of a payday loan cycle? This is actually an excellent question. I cannot speak to other people's experiences. I can only speak to mine. And let me clarify this by saying one of the main reasons that I got into a payday loan cycle was not because obviously I didn't make enough money, because clearly I make enough money. I have, and not all of my debt is this, so I have a whole bunch of new people in here. Don't come at me with that. I got addicted to gambling. And I took out payday loans, and I can't believe I'm putting this on the internet, but I would rotate between 5 different companies. And it wasn't taking out loans to go get money to gamble with. It was covering up a lot of my stupidity, feelings of shame and guilt, and how am I going to make this work? And just stupid. It's stupid. That's what it was. And I would go to the casino. I'd take out a loan after I messed up severely. And now that I'm coming out of it, it's the fear. I think it's the fear. Like you take one out, you get one paid off, and then, whoa, you don't have any money because the interest rate on those things are really high. And yes, the interest rate is not nearly as bad if you pay it off on your next paycheck, but then you don't have that money to pay your other bills. So, and specifically for me, when I would work a weekend to get it paid off, and then I would end up back in the casino that night, and I would spend the money that I made that day. I'm just being really real with you guys, and trust me, if my daughter weren't 18, I wouldn't be spilling any of this tea. But she's emancipated now, so I can talk about this openly and freely. And I'm just being honest. Like literally, I'm just being honest. But it is a very vicious cycle because the fear, the anxiety, the shame, the guilt, like you go through all the emotions. And I'm almost out of this stupid payday loan cycle, and I can't wait. And the interest on those things are terrible. I mean, you guys have seen my videos on it. And I wasn't thinking like, oh, you know, I'm gonna pay all this interest. I was thinking I was gonna pay it off, and then I didn't. So maybe somebody else can speak to their experience that maybe wasn't a gambling addiction. But yeah, cannot wait to be out of the payday loan cycle. I'm almost there. Have a good night.
What is something that you see being advertised that should definitely be illegal? I'll go first. Payday loans. Oh my gosh. 400% interest on average? 400. Yep, you read that right. 391% interest.
A loan from Dollar Loan Center really costs, and it's way less
Lies.
than people think.
Lies. It's probably the absolute worst way to borrow money on earth, and it is such a scam and should be illegal.
The hardest trap to get out of is payday loan. When I tell you, it's so easy to get sucked into that, but to crawl out is a nightmare because every paycheck that you get after you took that payday loan is going to hurt. Because you're going to have to pay it back, and then you're going to have to borrow it again because you don't have enough money to survive. And then it just sucks you in, and it's done. Because then you have to get another one, and then another one, and then you play the overdraft game on your account. It's honestly just not worth it. Figure out some things that you can sell around your house. I guarantee you, everyone has at least $100 of something worth in their house. If you have kids, you can take their old kid clothes, kid shoes, kid toys to the gently used kid stores. They'll give you cash on the way out. If you have clothes that you're not using, go to Plato's Closet or other places that can trade it in. Uptown Cheapskate. You can trade in video games and stuff like that at GameStop. Are they going to lowball you? Of course. But there's always a way to make $100. Skip the payday loan, please.
And there's no way I can pay you back, but my plan is to show you that I understand. You all appreciate it.